Hey guys, what's going on? Okay, so I know I said that last video I was going to try to do like a driving video and all that stuff, but well, I haven't. So it's coming. Man, I keep just getting sidetracked with other stuff. It's hard to focus sometimes. So I got into this trunk a little bit because it's something that's been needing to be done for a while, and I opened it up the other day to put something in it and just looked at it and said, my God, it's disgusting. So I got into it, and luckily, to my surprise, all this stuff through here turns out to be a lot of surface rust. There's a few people, like ASIC Eric and Russ, Double R Restorations, they kind of commented on one of my videos saying that it didn't look too bad. And I mean, they were right. Those guys, they deal with rust a heck of a lot more than I do, and they do a heck of a lot better job of taking care of it. So I would assume that they know best. And as it turns out, they really do, because a lot of this stuff is just surface rust. And it's not too bad. And I got away with one there because, like right here, for instance, I don't know if it comes up on the camera, but when I push on that, I mean, it's flexing. That's just super thin right there, and it's not because of rust. It's just thin because of the sheet metal's thin. So I've been knocking the heavy scale off, like these areas here, with the flap disc, and then I'm going back over, which I haven't done any of this yet, but I'm going back over everything with this polycarbide abrasive wheel on just my die grinder, I guess, my air die grinder. Seems to be working pretty good. It's getting in there. It's getting in the pits, getting in all the divots and stuff, and it's doing a good job. So I'm gonna keep going with that. Do have down here this back corner is probably one of the roughest spots, and it's got just a couple holes sitting in there. I'm gonna find something to kind of get in there and start stabbing around and just see exactly how bad it is. If it's not too bad, I might just do a couple little plug welds or something, or maybe just a small tiny little patch in that corner. So anyways, that's kind of the process that I'm going at, and then I'm gonna go ahead and treat everything. I'm gonna spray everything with this rust reformer all inside there where all the pitting is and all that jazz, and then I'm gonna go ahead and do some rubberized undercoating. I'll tell you what, this stuff right here is the cheapest crap that you can get at Harbor Freight, and it works great. I used it underneath my floors when I did the floor pans, and it works great. It covers great. It spreads out nice and even. It sprays on even. It's just a good product. I bought this stuff here from, I don't know, I think National Parts Depot or something like that. And this stuff, it's probably twice the cost of this. And it gums up, it drops out, it's just nasty to work with. A lot of overspray, so hey, cheap stuff, sometimes it's good. I mean, so here's a little bit of an assessment of my findings. Okay, so got, man, these are, they're almost too small to even see. So there's a hole there that I have to patch. There's two holes right there and there that need to be patched up. There's a hole right there, another hole there, and down in this corner it's pretty chewed up. There's a lot of pitting and multiple holes, so I'll probably just take that corner right there and just cut it out and reshape it the best I can. Let's see, down in here there's a hole right there and a tiny hole there. this corner here, there's a lot of holes. It starts there, and then they're just riddled all through that drop-off corner spots. And then this piece up here is gone, which, I mean, it's not going to be that bad to shape it and do all that. The problem is getting up in here to work. You know, I mean, this trunk is, well, let's face it, guys, it's not a Cadillac DeVille here. There's a reason why the Mafia did not use Camaros in their dealings, because you can barely fit half of a body back there, let alone a full body. And let me tell you, I squeezed in there so I could get in and try to rough up some of this stuff so I could treat it with some rust reformer, all that surface stuff in there. And I had this grinder here just spinning out of control. I mean, just inches away from my nose. So that was a little daunting. So, but anyways, I'm gonna try like these holes and stuff here, and like that one back there, and you can't even hardly see it. There it is right there. And like that one there, those couple. I mean, the fortunate thing is that you can see, if you look through that hole, you can see the concrete, okay? So my gas tank is here in this area, so I don't have to take the gas tank back down to cut and weld and do all that stuff. There's nothing underneath any of these holes, and nothing that's going to be hurt at all. Most of them just go straight through to concrete or to open air. So, you know, that's a blessing. I mean, we'll take the good with the bad, right? But I'm thinking on these, back to what I was saying, thinking on these, if I can just find like a piece of copper or something to just put up underneath those, then I can just try to plug weld them, you know. I'll just try to plug weld them, just fill them up with weld, and then grind them back down smooth. And all this is going to be treated with that rubberized undercoating anyway, so it's going to have texture. It doesn't need to be super smooth even. And I got these two holes here, which are where the CB radio antenna was. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the 70s, but for whatever reason, these CB radios were just the hot ticket item to have installed as an option on your car. So, man, so yeah, so that's where the antenna was sticking up. It went up alongside the trunk and just, you know, wallygagged up there in the air. But as you can see, they drilled the holes for the bracket on the outside of where the weather stripping goes. So, and they weren't siliconed or anything. It was just screws in there holding that bracket on. So any water that travels down that channel where it's supposed to go, it's supposed to travel down this channel here and then out and over the bumper and spill out. That's where the water goes. Well, if it gets backed up in there, it just goes right down in those holes and into the trunk. Alrighty, here's the finished product. Well, at least finished for now. It's still drying, so it's kind of uneven a little bit, but I sprayed some of that boom mat, that rubberized undercoating stuff in there. It does booger out, you know, it's got some good boogers. Thank you, guy. Driving by right then. But it's got some good little boogers that start shooting out of the can. Yeah, it's just nature of the beast. There's nothing real clean about it, but it is a trunk, guys, so let's keep that in mind. It's a trunk, and it will eventually get, they've got that mat that goes in over the top of this that came back in the 70s. I'm gonna try to find one of those, put it in there, because I've got the Space Saver tire to go right there already. And then I'll find a floor jack or a bumper jack, I guess is what they are, that fits into those there. Just, you know, I won't ever use it, but it'll look cool just to have all that stuff kind of put back together the way it was out of the factory. So, any hoodly-oo, we'll keep plugging away at it. So, next I want to kind of talk about paint and body work for a minute, because I've been waiting on putting this weather stripping in. I got so much weather stripping, all this stuff here, weather stripping everywhere. But I've been waiting to put it in because there's trim that runs along here, and I don't want to put that on and creating a masking tape nightmare is what it'll make. So I've been waiting on that. But in the meantime, I've been sanding down some of this top layer, and you can see just how thin that paint is. Somebody sprayed it with a very, very thin layer of silver. I originally thought it was oxidization, but it's not. You can see the tape lines that they have. You see right there, that tape line, where somebody actually did silver over it, but they didn't paint the jambs or the trunk area or anything like that. But I wanted to get that silver off just to see the state of the blue that's underneath it, and man, it's just, I mean, super thin everywhere. See, the silver's not even gone yet, and then there's the blue, and then it gets down to the plastic on the bumper. You can see where I've started doing this fender here, this quarter, and it just busts through. I mean, busts through just as quick as anything. So it's very, very thin, very thin. That right there, that on that seam is super thin. I've already got down to metal there in some spots. Got down to metal over there. But I want to get into some of these little patch spots that I need to do pretty quick. I'm ready to start moving on some of that. I'm going to try to paint it myself or not. I'm really nervous about it. There's a lot of spots here to fill in, like that. Started sanding a little bit on this front little bumper area, and you can see just how quickly it blew through the paint. I mean, I'm open to suggestions. If anybody wants to leave in the comments, there's a little crease right there on the door I'm gonna have to address. But there's some hail damage too on the hood. I don't know if you can see it like if the light just dried on it. You might be able to see some of the little ripples in there. But I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, should I give it a go? I've got an air compressor. I don't know if it'll handle it or not. My air compressor on the side says that, where is it? It's right, that top yellow one right there says home spray guns for intermediate use you can do on this, and it's just a 24 gallon 90 psi. I don't know if it'll spray it or not. I'd like to try it myself. Set up kind of a makeshift paint booth in here with some box fans kind of spraying outward with some filters on them, and just drape some plastic, from the ceiling to the floor, and create kind of a rectangle in the middle here, and then jack the car up and take it apart and just do it the best I can. But I want to start kind of, car shows are kind of opening back up, so I wanted to do some more car shows or go to some car shows and enter this in. But man, it's just embarrassing in the state that it is. So who knows? You guys give me any advice if you can. I'd be more than grateful to review some comments and see what you guys think on it. Very, very novice when it comes to paint and body work and stuff. I just don't know. So anyhow, that's all I got for you right now. Catch up with the guys on the next one.